Why are we here? We're here because the Secretary of State, responding to an extremely negative and divisive public debate on the question of migration, through a statutory instrument in Parliament to avoid any kind of parliamentary scrutiny or debate, has made the decision to change the skilled worker categories that has now impacted members of my union. Workers right across the country, but members of my union. My members were given permanent contracts of employment in London Transport, the chair of which is Sadiq Khan, the London Mayor, who, by the way, I want to congratulate for the stance he's taken on this, which we support. He showed some leadership here in standing up for these people who are Londoners keeping this city moving. But the effect of this is our members who were given permanent contracts of employment and were told you're going to be remaining here in Britain, who've built lives here, have started to take out mortgages, have started to build their families, from the 7th of November onward, will be receiving letters telling them they've now got to leave the country. And there is a stark difference between somebody who is on a student visa, on a fixed contract of employment, who had no expectation they were going to be staying or working beyond that point, and somebody who's been given a permanent contract of employment, told they're going to be able to remain here in Britain, and have contributed day in and day out to keeping the finest city in the world moving. That is an absolute disgrace that this step has been taken, without any consideration whatsoever for transition arrangements, for thinking about how this affects people. Just a blunt instrument. 3 weeks from start to finish, and now these hard-working Londoners are going to be told they've got to leave the country. Now, I don't care where they're from. The only thing that means something to me is they've got an RMT badge on their chest. They're one of ours, and we fight for our people. That's why we're all here today. We don't care where you're from, who you are, what your gender is. The minute you put an RMT badge on, we're in your corner and we're going to fight for you. Now, I've demanded a meeting with a migration minister. Bearing in mind, we expect some of our people to start to receive letters advising they've got to leave from as early as the 7th of November. Well, he's offered me a meeting on the 6th of November. I'm accepting a meeting because I want to tell him face to face exactly what I think about that and exactly what I think about him and the steps that they've taken. I've actually looked into it. I believe we allow him to use our office in Dover to run some of his constituency meetings. Well, I tell you what, he's out in the street from this morning. He'll be never using that office again because of the way our people have been treated. He'll be out. So what we're calling for is not unreasonable. What we're calling for is what the mayor of this city is calling for. What we're calling for is what the Migration Advisory Committee should have been saying, but have chosen not to. And that is, we want a pause. We want a proper consultation with industry and the trade unions and the city to look into these arrangements and make sure that people are treated fairly. This is a question of fairness. I'm not here to argue about whether there's a shortage in particular categories of the economy or not. Those aren't moral arguments, those are matters of statistics. What I'm talking about is real people who've been going out to work every day, keeping our city moving. These aren't the horror show images of migrants that the right wing want to portray. These are decent, hard-working Londoners and they're members of my union. And we're not having it that this government can, 3 weeks flat, turn an ordinary, decent worker into someone who's going to have to be slung out of the country. This is completely outrageous. It's not right. And we're not going to stand for it. So I will take the meeting on the 6th of November with a migration minister. And he is out. He won't be using our office ever again. He's on the street. But I want a pause. There's nothing wrong with that. We've got to look into this carefully. If we are going to have a better plan for how we skill workers and how we deliver workers into the key parts of the economy we need to, that's got to be done in a way that's fair and balanced. You don't turn around to workers who've committed themselves to this country, who've been told they can stay here, who are going out to work day in, day out, are doing a proper job looking after this city. You don't treat people like that. That's not right. And we are not going to tolerate it. So thanks to everyone for coming out and solidarity to you all.
Thank you, Eddie.